Where can that video be found, Kurt?
It's on YouTube, of course, and it will be on Eventive, but the way they're seeing this is through Eventive anyway, so that would be redundant.
Okay.
So they're going past our paywall to check it out as part of the overall festival.
Right. Yeah. 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 So this is like an intro to the video, or like is
Yes.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
So
just want like a quick club.
yeah, so it's a pre-roll.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. All right. All right. All right. All right. Right before the video. Okay. So yeah, let's start just now. Hi, Klamath Independent Film Festival. I'm director Ronnie Huffstutter, and I'm here to show you a music video called From Owls and Aliens called Romanticizing the Sorrow, all filmed in Klamath Falls, Oregon, with your local band, Owls and Aliens. Enjoy.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so this we'll only do a couple minutes on each film here. Usually have a couple standard questions, but then just if there's anything specific about it that you want to talk about or bring up something memorable from the set, feel free to do so. Okay. But
Okay.
I'll roll in with a quick little intro. Hello, Klamath Independent Film Festival. My name is Kurt Lidke. I am the board chair of Klamath Film, presenters of the 11th Annual Klamath Independent Film Festival. With us today is Ron Huffstutter, director of the music video for the band Owls and Aliens for the song Romanticizing the Sorrow. This is the only music video that made our festival this year, and it's a Klamath Falls-based band in a Klamath Falls shot video. And Ron is working in the film industry down in Los Angeles, but is originally from Klamath Falls. So, Ron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kurt. Thanks for having me, everyone.
So, you're now a long ways away from Klamath, but it's nice to see that one of our homegrown filmmakers is trying to stay somewhat close to home and reconnect from time to time. So, how did you get connected with our local band that's been blowing up like crazy, Owls and Aliens?
Oh, yeah. Well, my 14 years or so in Klamath Falls, I met a lot of guys in the music scene, and yeah, Dustin, the lead singer from the band, is kind of been friends for years now and stuff like that. And he finally got a band together, and I mean, he's been itching to work with me for a long time because he knew I moved to LA to do film and all that kind of stuff, and he had seen stuff that we'd shot in Ashland, Oregon, and Klamath before, so he was very invested in trying to get me to make a video and stuff. And our schedules finally aligned, and we came up and just did a two-man crew. Really, nothing too crazy. Had some drones and some rigs and stuff like that, an easy rig, and just came in and knocked it out. I mean, the whole idea was to do a kind of like an homage to to Klamath Falls, just to showcase how beautiful that city actually is, and how much talent comes out of that town musically or film wise, or whatever.
So, was the opportunity arose, but what was that overall experience like of being able to make a film back in your hometown after all of the productions that you work on in California?
Oh no, it's great. I usually come back to Oregon at least two times a year. I try to either Ashland or Klamath, usually both, and just see people and friends, extended family, and stuff like that. So it's very it's always surreal coming back too, because Southern Oregon is its own kind of beast, if you will. It's always something else going on. You go to the bars and it's the same people there, some of the same people. So it's just like catching up with a lot of people. But I mean, compared to the city and stuff, Southern Oregon, Klamath especially, and Ashland and Medford is just the most beautiful backdrops I've ever seen. It's really one of my favorite places to film. I think every short film I've ever done for Channel 13 Films has been shot there in some way in Oregon. I'm still in love with Oregon.
So, working on music videos, we don't always get a lot of music videos submitted for film festivals, which is interesting because I mean they are films, and it's very close to my heart because I was in Hollywood for about 12 years before I moved up to Klamath, and I got my start in film by being transferred to a music video department at the record label that I was working at. And that was kind of my introduction, was being on set as a liaison for artists when music videos were being made, and now I'm a filmmaker. So I guess I was kind of observant, but working with artists lots of times, I discovered artists are not necessarily actors and don't know the main points. So were there any issues with working with the band in terms of, okay, don't look directly at the camera, don't do this, don't, make sure that if you can't see the lens, it can't see you. So some of the very basics of filmmaking that you had to take them through.
I mean, some of it, I mean, like Dustin especially, a lot of them are naturally look good on camera. If they're playing their instruments, they're going to look pretty badass. I mean, that's always, I mean, it's hard rock, it's that kind of music. They're going to look great. We did have a scene, the initial scene in the thing where we're just like, we're tracking back, and the crowd, just kind of sees them walking, and the groupies kind of come in, and the fans of the band kind of come in, and they're all walking towards the camera, and that's like a one shot deal. We cut into other stuff, but our DP, Parker Mills, and I came up with this whole idea to come back and and make this incredibly difficult shot to shoot. For some reason we thought it would be great, and it turned out looking great. But it's, yeah, coordinating, literally, like, kind of on the spot, coordinating everybody, to come in, all these extras that are not used to being on film, on people just off the streets or fans, and having the band, the nice thing is the band could actually like look into the camera, which was fantastic. So it wasn't like, completely plot driven. But I think that was probably the most difficult thing about the video, really. Like, I mean, the band is super professional. They want to get their music out there, and this is, one of the best ways to do it is to make a musical video, and have a visual aid for their band. So they were all in, very attentive, be well behaved. Let's put it that way. Very well behaved.
Better than some of the ones I had to deal with then for film liaison for music videos. Then that's great to hear. So you were friends with Dustin previously, the lead singer, but what is it about this group's music that appeals to you that made you want to work with them?
I mean, it's definitely my kind of genre. I mean, it's definitely like rock and kind of, like late grunge stuff, a little metal in there and stuff like that. So, I'm a big rock guy and stuff. So I kind of, I mean, I love that I love that genre of music. I just, and I want to see local bands being showcased. And, I spent a lot of time with musicians in Ashland and Klamath. And, I really want to see somebody blow up, because I think, like, any town you live in, any small town, any state or whatever, there's always a group of bands, and they're just amazingly talented. And you go somewhere else and nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows, some of the bands I grew up with, or some of the bands from like South Bend, Indiana I grew up with that, played in the punk rock scene. Like, people will never know who those bands are from the 90s because, they're not on digital or whatever. So it's always very good opportunity, and I love to showcase people. And now it's on YouTube, and it's cemented in history, and their music will always be out there. And I don't know, that's a cool thing to me.
So with any film project, even the most serious of film projects, on set, anything can happen, and often does. Any memorable moments that perhaps at the time were a little stressful, but now you can look back and laugh, and any notable bloopers or issues that arose during the production of this?
I mean, a lot of it was kind of, we were just running around Klamath getting places and stuff like that. And, the band was like, oh, we're going to get a bar and do all this. And, there's time crunches and everything like that. So we just, made a coffee shop work as a bar kind of thing. And, because in your mind, like, if you're not in the film, you're kind of like, oh, we have to shoot at a bar. We have to shoot at this place because it's that place. So it was just disguising normal places to look like a bar or look like this. And and be like, ah, don't worry, we don't have to wait till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night to get into this bar to shoot this scene. We'll find an alternative route.
Any aspects of the production or post production with this music video that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure it gets mentioned?
I mean, definitely check out Owls and Aliens. They're touring all around the country right now. They're an incredible band. They have an album out and everything like that. And I'm sure you can Google Owls and Aliens and find their merch and everything like that. So I just really want to promote them because I mean that's really what it's about. It's not about getting paid or anything like that. It's about trying to have friends come up and and have their music shared with the world. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's kind of it.
We had a lot of fun with this band as well because Klamath Film was also a sponsor of the Klamath Comic Con this year, where we had Owls and Aliens perform and do live rock band karaoke, which I will say not a lot of bands, especially when they reach a certain level, even when they might still be considered local, would be willing to do something like that, of learning 10 to 15 songs of just the most iconic, simple to play, at least everyone knows the chorus, be willing to have anyone come up and sing with them. That really meant a lot to the organizers, that this group would be willing to do something like that for the community. And it became a huge hit. I mean, there'd be like 10 kids rushing up to sing AC/DC with them, and or doing "We Will Rock You" or White Stripes, and it was really wonderful to have a band that was willing to do something like that for the community. So it also speaks to their character as a group as well, and their tie-in with the community. So we have a close tie-in with the group. That's not why the film was selected. It was selected on its merits, but it was nice to be associated with that.
No, that's right. Yeah, they love their community. They love Plant Falls and they love Southern Oregon, and they're just kind of out there advertising for us too, which is wonderful right now on tour. And yeah, and they got to go through their whole thing and play all the dive bars around the country and get network. And so people out there support Owls and Aliens. Please give them money. They're a starving band.
Well, thank you, Ron, for joining us, and thank you for making this wonderful music video and having it be a part of the Klamath Independent Film Festival.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Enjoy.